That's cool. Okay. Let's go to a. Oh yeah. Hey, we gave everyone the chance to debate. No one did, so let's move on. Okay, let's move to item 15, the notice of motion. So I'll hand over to Pauline.
Oh, thank you. Jumping down to 15. There's been multiple reviews into local government funding and other aspects of local government over the years, many in fact, I think 1998, 2007, 2015, 2019, and all of them have recommended that the government pay rates on their properties that currently are unrated. So, but none of those recommendations have been picked up by the government. So the intention behind my notice of motion is actually to formalise a request from this council to do so, because I'm not sure if anyone has actually formally requested it. So this is a formal request to the government to commence paying rates on their properties that are currently categorised as non-rateable. So I actually can't think of a single reason why the Crown should be exempt on paying rates, because we are actually picking up the cost of the infrastructure required to service all those properties. They do pay targeted rates on the water and infrastructure, but the majority of the general rate they are exempt from. And this would give us, I'm not sure of the exact figure, but somewhere between $25 and $30 million extra income a year that would really help us at the moment, especially in the light of the rates capping suggestion. So I'm requesting that the Mayor, I know the Mayor has been talking to the South Island Minister, James Meagher, but this will probably empower your discussions even further if you've got an agreed formal request from the councillors, I believe. So I hope that you will all support this today.
Does no one have questions on this debate? Oh, question? Okay, yep. Oh, okay, so we'll go questions. Pauline, are you okay to take a question?
It's nothing too dusty.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Because I think we're all in agreement. So, yeah.
So that includes all non-rateable land, Pauline? Like, does that include conservation land, things like that?
Oh, I'm not sure how far we stretch that web. I mean,
but they can go through the letter,
that
right?
Would be contained in the letter, and the Mayor would get advice on how to frame that. But it's particularly properties, buildings, I would say, that actually cost us a lot to service.
Yeah,
That's
I
where
agree.
the intention is.
Cool, thank you.
I mean, it's a good way to start the discussion, because I'm just wondering, there's no free money or there's no new money, so if they say, okay, we'll pay rates, but we're going to pull back on something else because there's no extra money in it. I just wonder, is this the best way to start? I mean, we have to start the conversation because there's other conversation with regards to GST, etc. Are you hoping that this is actually going to stimulate that? Because it's...
Yeah, I think the government's got to, step up and pay their share. Where they get the money from is their decision. Don't forget, every time that anyone gets a pay increase in this country, the government's coffers are boosted again. So look, it's complex, but maybe the government's obviously cutting their cloth like we are. But I don't see, as I said, I don't see any reason why they should be exempt from contributing to the costs that we're picking up for them on behalf of them.
Nathaniel, then Yanni.
Would universities be included in this? Because I know they also don't pay rates. Is that Crown owned, or is that a separate category?
Yes, they are. They also bring in outside revenue.
Yeah.
Not just Crown funded.
Great.
Yanni.
Yeah, thank you. In the report, it states that many of these assets in the non-rateable category are owned by local government. We've been given a rough estimate of what the central government costs would be, around 30 million a year. But do we know what the impact would be on council if government agreed to just remove the non?
Yeah, but we'd be paying ourselves. What's the point in that, Yanni?
Yeah,
I don't think we should convolute the discussion with that. This is a request that the Crown pay.
Right. Okay.
Cool. So I think we're there.
Sorry. Well, can I just ask a follow up then? Are there things that we pay rates on that we don't think is right either? Like I'm mindful when we've had some revaluations,
Well,
we've suddenly had a big rates
I think what we're, correct me if I'm wrong, I think what we're saying is if there's land and buildings, rates should be paid. Whether it's us that own it or the government or, you know, private business. User pays. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're pretty much there. Does anyone want to debate it? Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, just to put everyone in a picture, I did have a Zoom meeting with a number of mayors about 2 weeks ago with James Meagher. And he said, is there anything we can do to help you with? And I said, as luck would have it. And I brought up about paying rates on their land, because I look at it as being a lot easier. It's just a matter of sending out a rates bill. Some people say, oh, we should get half the GST back, or whatever. The mechanics in that would be a bloody nightmare, in my view, but this is quite a simple way. So having done that, I have already sent him a letter, but I'm more than happy to vote for sending him a letter that I've already sent. So
Well, I think having one that's formalised.
yeah, that's right, and it is formalised, so it's a good idea, and I think if we can, anything that we can get is good. Thank you for bringing that up.
Cool. Yanni and then Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, I totally support this. I think it makes sense. I am thinking of drafting a notice of motion around the GST. We should not be paying GST on rates. And actually the problem with us collecting rates, even on our property, is we pay GST, right? And I know we get some offsets and stuff, but it seems to me just silly that we don't get the GST component from rates, or in fact, GST shouldn't be charged on the rates. So I just think we should do some work on that
I think
as
we'd end
well.
up giving the government more.
Sorry?
I think we'd end up giving the government more money.
Why would we get, sorry,
We borrow for a capital program. And then we claim the input on. Anyway.
yeah,
it's
okay.
blah, blah, but it's
just
not as simple
regardless,
as that.
like
Yeah.
I just think, you know, like we should absolutely be putting pressure on the government to look to pay their fair share, particularly when they're putting the boot into us about the cost of rates going up, and at the same time that imposing a whole bunch of extra costs on us that we're having to fund from rates, because they're not giving us the funding to do to meet the new standards that they're putting in place, or to do the things that they want us to do. And you know, look no further than the example of Kiwi Rail and the expensive crossings that we're having to do, and what that's done to our budgets over the last 5 years. So I totally support this. Thank you to the Deputy Mayor for bringing it, and thank you to the Mayor for raising it as well. The ex-Deputy Mayor. My bad.
It was going so well. Okay, I've got Kelly, and then Mark, and then we might try and.
Yeah, look, I'm going to support this in terms of our ongoing sustainability, and it does seem frustrating that we do have all these extra things imposed on us, but I would remind us all of the fact that the government has been very, very generous to Christchurch in terms of the hundreds of millions of dollars they spent on Parakiori for us, the $50 million for the stadium land, the $200 million contribution to the stadium, and a variety of other things that funded the convention centre for us, which at huge expense. So, yeah, in terms of ongoing sustainability, it makes perfect sense, but I think we just need to be cognizant that we've been given a pretty good deal since the earthquakes. Cheers.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Pauline, for bringing this. This is one of my first thoughts and comments when we had the rates cap thrust in our face. So having this formalised and brought before us, I think, is a great idea, and hopefully it'll give some more clout to the letter that Phil's already done. And it also, you know, we need to find ways to work with the government, you know, for them to be thrusting upon us the idea of rates caps and all sorts of, you know, restrictions. Then they've got to come to the table and help in some way. So it can't be all on us and on the ratepayers.
I'd be surprised if anyone doesn't support this. The only thing I will say is that I'd like to see all the other councils throughout New Zealand also pass similar notices of motion and get the message across to our government.
Yeah, look, this, in principle, great idea, but just remember there's a couple of things, you know, like we have problems with the hospitals and giving where it's needed, etc. So if a hospital turns around and says, well, we've got to pay so much rates, we're going to take that from the top of the line. You know, there's no free ride here in New Zealand, and nor there should. So just realise that. No, technically it's not, because that money that they're not paying on rates, say in a hospital, is actually going to something, hopefully in ED or wherever. But I will support it. But it's going to open like cultural, marae, cemeteries, churches. I do think churches should pay anyway, but it's going to open a bit of a nest. So it's going to be a good discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm supportive of this as well. I mean, the reality is it comes from the taxpayer, so it will come from someone. It's just the allocation of where it comes from. But from the principle of, as much I joke about, but from the principle of user pays, it actually makes sense. Is that so it's kind of like Christmas come early. We've got rates capping and our council agreeing on user pays within the same couple of weeks. I can't believe my luck. So should we put it to the vote? All in favour? Against? Great. User pays is carried. Thank you, David.